Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I am MC Sarivan.
And Desert Stream.
And today we'll be discussing chapters 8, 9, and 10 of Blue Reflection, saving at the point of no return in chapter 10. But before we get to that, how was everyone's week? Here, meaning almost 3 weeks.
Has it really been that long?
Maybe close to like 2 in a day or so.
Pretty fun. I had theater season, and then our last show got canceled due to COVID.
Fun.
We started taking our first phone calls during my call center training.
That's good.
I got talked in circles by somebody for 22 minutes on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what the phone is all about.
I've made the comment of, in the 22-minute phone call, I'm pretty sure I got 5 unique sentences out of the person.
Yeah, that tracks.
But then today was, really good, aside from the fact that I got sick at work. It was just random lightheadedness. I don't know what happened.
Weird.
But today was our last day of virtual school style training.
Uh-huh.
And now it's just head first into the deep end of the pool on phones all day training.
Nice.
And we basically did like the high school yearbook, who's most likely to kind of votes, but for our coworkers. And it was most empathetic and caring, most likely to make somebody smile, and most eager to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't win any of them, but I got nominated for all 3.
Nice.
So I was just kind of sitting there I am prepared to not win any rewards. I got nominated. I'm happy.
Nice. It's always nice to be nominated.
And then, I see that I got nominated for the second one, and that voice line of Axel from Kingdom Hearts 2. 2!
Nice.
But yeah. It was a good day.
Good. Desert Stream, what show were y'all doing this time around?
So we were doing Urinetown, which is like a satire musical where people have to pay to use the bathroom.
That's not a satire, that's Los Angeles.
Well, the musical itself is satire. There's a lot of jokes thrown in, but you're not wrong.
Nice. I haven't actually heard of that one. It's just community theater, or is it school stuff?
For my school.
Okay. Yeah, my friend Laura is involved in the teenage aged community theater, and many a D&D night was canceled because of theater related stuff. So I do not.
It takes up so much time.
Yeah. I love it though. Speaking of theater, Stephen Sondheim passed away today.
I saw.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I honestly didn't know he was still alive, but now that he's not, I'm sad.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen any of the things that he's done.
Not even Sweeney Todd?
No, actually, I grew up in... English, please. I never really watched any musicals for most of my life. The more that I think about it, the only musicals I've ever seen were the ones that we did in high school drama club and Hamilton.
Weird.
Don't worry, I am the same way, and I am literally a technical theater major. I am so uncultured.
But like, I brought him up to two of my roommates who have talked about Into the Woods and Sweeney Todd significantly, and they both just kind of, aw.
Yeah.
I think I have seen Into the Woods, actually. But I don't think it was the original run, so...
Yeah. Being a emo goth kid who was in middle school and high school in the aughts, I was obsessed with Sweeney Todd when it came out. So I was looking to try and pirate it, and I didn't know how to do that thing because I was young and stupid, and I wanted to watch it, and it wasn't on DVD yet. But I found the Broadway production with Angela Lansbury playing the lead female role. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Don't at me in the comments. But like it was so awesome. Like they did so much with basically zero sets, but two giant props. They had a bridge prop that was basically everything, and then they had the barbershop pie shop set, and so the barbershop was on top and the door to the pie shop was on the bottom, but they were basically just a prop, like a platform to hold the barber chair and a front door to be the front door to the pie shop. Everything else was all just a play of the mind, and it completely blew me away, and it was amazing, and highly recommend looking that one up in honor of good old Steven.
Yeah, definitely. You tend to see that a lot in like any show that isn't a Broadway production with like a rotating floor or something.
Yeah.
Things just get reused for like every single location ever, and it's fine.
Yeah.
You just accept it.
Yeah, and my favorite one about that is it never feels like lesser because of it. It's like the performances all take you there. It's a masterpiece, and I highly recommend checking it out. Because Angela Lansbury is phenomenal in everything she does, and she kicks ass in that role. As for me, what I've been up to, I am rolling D&D characters for an in-person campaign for the first time in like 6 or 7 years. And it's super exciting because I did a short-lived Discord one back when I had my old job and had lots of downtime because that job sucked. But besides that, I haven't done it since before I had kids. And my wife and her best friend, I've always been interested in D&D, but they're super duper anxious and nervous, and they're so afraid that everyone will judge them, and no amount of that's literally antithetical to having fun at D&D is to be mean to people at your table. No amount of telling them that works, so they have just never been able to play. But now we're up here, I can run a 2-person campaign. It's no big deal. So I'm running a campaign with them, and to save myself some insanity. It hasn't worked yet, but in theory, I'm saving myself insanity by not running any of my like own campaign settings, but instead running out of a book. So we're going to be doing the Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And because I've always loved Waterdeep, mostly just because now that I think about it, where the fuck did I even get that? I don't know. I have the I have the Forgotten Realm foot by 4 foot down to the house picture map of Waterdeep. And so I've always had a soft spot for Waterdeep, and included in that book was a copy of the original Volo's Guide to Waterdeep. And it's dope. I haven't I'm really trying to remember where I got it. I've just had it since I've been doing D&D, and I have no idea where I got it from. I think maybe I picked it up at like a garage sale or a half price books or something, but I have not a clue. But so I've always had a soft spot for Waterdeep, and so we were going to start our campaign in Waterdeep anyways, but then I was like, you know what? The campaign I had picked, which is Princes of the Apocalypse, it's a really long one. It's like a 15 level campaign. I was like, I was going to do that one, but like, why go through all this Waterdeep setup for us to leave and go to Red Larch right at the very beginning? And so I was futzing around, and Polygon this week was like, hey, now we're at whatever anniversary of D&D 5th edition, so here are some of the best books that have best adventures that have come out, and Princes of the Apocalypse was not on there at all, but Waterdeep was number one. And I'm like, I love Waterdeep. This is the best one that Polygon says, so we'll do that. And all day today, and remember, this is me taking it easy so that I don't have to work so hard. All day today, I've been rolling characters to fill out our a party. So like Summer and Deanne have their characters, but Waterdeep Dragon Heist was made for 4 characters, so I'm rolling player characters that'll actually be NPCs controlled by me and just be to flesh it out. But I was rolling them and getting ideas and setting things up all day today, and I still have barely even like plotted out the first session, because turns out that running a campaign out of a book is really hard. And most people, when you look up how to use it, they're like, read the book cover to cover 3 or 4 times, and then you're good to do it. And that's, I should have just fucking made everything up, but here we are. So I'm super excited about that. And I feel there was something else that happened in the last couple of weeks, but who can say?
Yeah, when it comes to me with the start of my campaign, I started with a module written by DM Dave, who is a D&D content creator. I did not read it through several times beforehand. I just pulled out the page, started the campaign, and wung it by the seat of my pants. And the party's now level 18, and our 14-inch to scale statue of the Tiamat came in.
Nice.
That we're going to be using as her mini when they fight her in the campaign.
Amazing.
It is the length of my arm.
That's dope. Yeah, Waterdeep Dragon Heist is a really small and also open-ended campaign. It's only level 1 to 5, and it basically is a like alternative to running the starter box, because the starter box gets you to like level 5 or so, and so most of the campaign books assume you're level 5 after getting through the starter set. But I didn't want to do the starter set. I wanted to do something else. And this one's pretty cool. So like it's like it has 5 chapters. The first chapter is your basic, here's a quest, go out and do the thing, and then come back and you'll get paid. But the second one is D&D HGTV. Like you get a house and you restore the house, and everything is centered around restoring that house. And then chapter 3 the villain makes a move, you go to stop the villain. And then chapter 4 and 5, you're actually like taking on the villain and stopping everything. But the fact that chapter 2 is just hanging out and building a house, I'm like, this is perfect for the Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley mavens that are my wife and her best friend. So pretty excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah, on the topic of the starter kit, Mines of Fendelver has been run into the ground, so I fully understand not wanting to run it.
Yeah.
I have yet to finish a game of Dungeons and Dragons. I did start a game once, and I got past like the intro fight, and then I never saw those people again.
Yeah, I have never had a campaign fully kick off of the ground, which is why I wanted to do everything from a book this time, because the first campaign I was in Pathfinder, and that one was just kind of playing it by ear, sort of. Like, I think we had started going through the Pathfinder starter set, but I had already been weaving in other stuff as we went along, and that was about as far as we got with that one. And then D&D 5 came out, so I got D&D 5 and made my own campaign based on Spelljammer from back in the day. And was Spelljammer next? No, Spelljammer was like my third one, I think. I don't know. So I have like 4 early campaigns. So I did one in Pathfinder. I did one that was based on Law and Order, and that one was in Waterdeep. It was called Waterdeep: The Grey Hand, and it was a police procedural, and we had a whodunit every single week, and it was so much fun. And then we had another one that was based on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and one that was based on Spelljammer. All of these had one or fewer sessions. The Spelljammer one, I think we actually had like 4 or 5 sessions, but that was about it until people just stopped showing up. And so then I canceled that one, and then was talking to my friends in the Red Heroes who all wanted to play. And I'm like, what? Like, I will DM. I love DMing. What would you guys want to do? And Cassie was like, well, I've never done it before, but like, I love Star Wars. Could you make it Star Wars? Is that possible? And I'm like, sure, I can homebrew anything. So I homebrewed an entire campaign setting and rules for the Force and all this stuff. Like, it is like a binder's worth of homebrew that I did for this, and got everybody together, and it was great. And I was excited, and we all rolled our characters, and those character sheets are still in my DM binder because we never did anything. And that was the last time I DM'd in person. So hoping that, being my wife, Summer will show up to these sessions and we'll be able to keep going.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But let's listen to the boss fight reprise of the main battle theme that we heard this week and talk about the plot for the week. Full disclosure, I do not have very good notes. So this week we will kind of just be vibing and making our way through it. So if we skipped an important part, it probably wasn't that important. So when we first load up and start playing this week, Sarasa comes into class and says she wants to talk to us. So we go up to the roof, And she's like, why the fuck are you not the Little Mermaid? And Hina's like, no, like I want to be, but I'm like trying to get through to Mao and like get smooth some things over, so I'm letting her audition for it because she's an actress and we'll smooth things over that way. And she's like, okay, but try to win because you're not a quitter, and I don't want this to be you quitting. I still want you to try. And we're like, absolutely. So we get to the audition, and Hina acts her heart out, but then Mao acts everyone's heart out. Literally, she does really, really good, and it's amazing. But she goes rampant, and it like almost kills everybody in the room. They're like sinking down into the floor, glowing with evil rampant energy and stuff, and even the reflectors like can't breathe, and they're being affected by it too. So we head into the common, and we're even drained of energy inside of the common, and they're like, shit, this is bad. We gotta hurry and get out of here as quick as we can. So we eventually find the fragment, and when Hina grabs it, we see Mao as a child, and Mao loved acting and was good at it, and her parents wanted to be rich. So they like sabotaged the other girls, and they were like bribing judges and stuff like that to make sure that Mao kept moving up and up and up in the ranks. And rumors got out that her parents were doing this, tarnished Mao's public image, and her parents had like a huge messy public divorce because of it. And behind closed doors, they fought over who should get custody of Mao, not because they loved their daughter, but because they were comfortable being rich, and whoever got Mao would make money off of their daughter being an amazing actress. And it's shitty. And so Mao says that kindness is fake. Kindness is just pre-betrayal, and humanity is full of malice, and the only way that she can protect herself is by becoming full of malice herself. Hina starts to believe it. She remembers like during competitions how like fierce the competition was between her and the other girls, and how like she had a lot of fake friends back in the day who would like smile at her face but then try and win the ballet recital or whatever. But then she starts to remember that like most of the time and most of the girls, when Hina would do great, they weren't like, oh, like, fuck you, I'm going to trip you when you fall off the stage type thing. They were always like, oh, wow, like it looked like you were flying, like you were amazing. And they like hyped each other up just as much as they were competing. And she's like, it's not, kindness isn't fake. And then she remembers all of the dates she's had with all of the lesbians in this game. And they're like, and she's like, they're all nice for real. I'm not going to give in to your malice. So, she hops out of the common, and Mao is like, oh, so like you're a magical girl and you've been like traipsing through everybody's memories. And the sisters are like, oh, she must have, because we've basically tried to stabilize her fragment 3 fucking times now. She's starting to have memories of what happens in the common. So like that's what's going on. And Hina's like, I was only doing it to try and understand you so that we could be friends and not have to like be angry at each other. And Hina's like, yeah, but not everybody is malicious. Like nobody's completely good, but nobody's completely bad. You're looking for the bad and stuff instead of looking for the good. And Mao's like, so I should believe in 1 million bad people for the sake of one good person. And Hina's like, no, like you can't distrust everyone based on what like your mom and dad did. Like everyone here at the school is different. Everyone is nice. They're not the backstabbing people in the industry that are just trying to make a buck. Like these girls are just trying to navigate being teenagers. It's not nearly the same shit. And Mao was like, yeah, no, you're wrong. Whatever. I don't care. So what do we do now? If I'm not going to agree with you and you're not going to agree with me, where does that leave us? And Hina's like, I don't know, but I won't let you hurt anyone else. And and Mao starts to be like, oh well, like, but what about blah blah blah? But then in comes Dukemon Gallantmon Mega Burst Mode, spectacular again. This time with even more shinies, and so we run out to the field to fight him, and while we're out there, Mao walks out. She's not frozen. Her 4 times common combo bob has her out there even before her fragment gets stabilized. And so Hina's like, yeah, so demons are real, and we fight them, but you just sit back and we'll show you how it's done. So we get into a battle, and before any of my way over leveled super kick-ass characters can do anything, he kills my entire party. It's a forced loss, but I thought
I was genuinely hoping the game was getting hard.
Yeah, I thought like somehow I had like hit like a spike, a difficulty spike or whatever, but I am as over leveled as is possible in this game. So
I am.
So this had to have been a forced loss, but I thought it was just like after the first turn, I was like, okay, like that's their big fuck you move. And then the second turn, when they had a bigger move, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to lose because there's no way I can heal through all of this. So after the fight, we're like, oh shit. We need to retreat. I'm like, but we can't retreat. It's attacking the school. If we retreat, it will destroy the school. What do we do? And so then Mao walks by and is like, hey, the school is my turf. It's my school. I'm not going to let you go on a rampage without my permission. And some sort of magical beam like shoots from her and like fucks up Dukemon. And Mao's like, people are selfish and weak, but that's why I'm here. I try to protect them. Like the reason I am manipulative and like ruining people's lives is to protect them from it being worse. So she says, you know what, Hina, you're right. I've decided to accept it, the beautiful and the ugly. So I won't let this demon fuck up anything. And she stabilizes her own fragment, and Hina's like, cool. I'm not going to let you hurt people still, but it seems like we have something in common where we're trying to protect people, so we can. This is how we can move forward from here. We can focus on our common good. So Lime makes her a ring, and then we get to assign her to our party and face the much easier second round facing this demon. It still was pretty hard though. I never was like in danger, but it took a while and took like thinking. But the hardest part about this battle is Mr. Bear's not cute anymore. They killed Mr. Bear.
Yeah. I was going to say that you forgot to mention that we got weapon upgrades because Mao was overflowing with so much emotion juice that it just kind of made
Leveled us up. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. Bear now looks less like an adorable stuffed bear and more like something out of an indie horror film. So
Yeah. He's got like fangs and big meaty claws and all that shit.
Gotta love it.
And the SpongeBob bits are back. Wonderful.
Yeah, they are.
One of my memorable moments actually was just right after this fight, like when we're supposed to be celebrating that we've won, Lime's just like, Mr. Bear's not cute anymore. And she's just all heartbroken that despite the fact that she's even stronger than she already was, her bear's not cute anymore.
Yeah. But I feel her pain. Damn, it took this Let's Play forever to beat this boss. So every time before when we've beaten the boss, there's this little cutscene thing where Hina flies up and like deflects the boss back. Guess I should say reflex the boss back. But this time,
She just fucking kills it.
she just fucking kills it. She just like animes through it like a fucking Samurai Champloo ass, and it just falls to pieces behind her, and it's badass.
And she does the Power Rangers thing where she turns away, sheaths her weapon, and it just explodes behind her.
Yeah, it's badass. And so we're like, oh, we did it. And Mal's like, all because of me. You could thank me. And Lime is like, it's not just your power that did this. Hina led us, and all of our girlfriends were here to support us. It was a team effort. It's not just you. By the way, do you want to be another one of our girlfriends? And Hina steps in and is like, guys, we need to celebrate, not argue. Thank you, Mao. You were a big help. Please fight alongside us. And Mao was like, maybe. And she's like, we need to, but only to protect the school. I can live with that, but under one condition. Hina, you have to be the Little Mermaid. I don't actually want to do it. Nobody here can act good enough to act with me, and I would have to get onto everybody's ass to make the better actors, and it's not worth it. So you're way worse than me, but you're on par with everyone else. So it'll be a more cohesive bad performance if you are a Little Mermaid instead of me. Which is hilarious.
He basically just said, you stink good.
Yeah. And so she's starting to walk off, and she says that once she put on the ring, she's felt something like warm and gentle from her. So she's curious to see how she can act and be the Little Mermaid with all of that. And so I think that was the end of so that's the end of that little scene. So the next day, Hina comes to school, and she's like talking with one of her girlfriends, like, oh, we just have 3 more Sephiroths to beat, and then my leg will get healed. And then Yuri, standing by like a creeper, is like, no, it won't. Wishes can't come true. I've like run the numbers on all of your emotion magic, but the wish thing is totally fake. And as she's saying it, the sisters are like whistling, twiddling with their thumbs, and looking away. They are obviously up to something. Yuri says that there are 2 worlds at play: the common, which is the world of emotion, and our world. And the Sephiroth are always coming from our world to try and get into the common, and the reason that we can't become reflectors in the real world normally is we're separated from that other world, and it's only when the Sephiroth come up to try and open that gateway that we have the power to transform. So because the common is completely separate, there's no way that it can affect anything in the real world. Like, time is stopped when the gateways open, all of that stuff. Like, it cannot affect the real world whatsoever. So there's no way you can get your leg fixed. And she's like, but when we win, like, we still get world peace. Everything is still great. And Hina's like, yeah, but what the fuck, girls? Like, you told me that it would, like, my leg would be healed. And the linemen usually are like, yeah, we can't heal your leg. There's no wish at the end of it. Sorry. And Hina's like, oh, you tricked me. Like, you basically bribed me into doing this by saying that my wish would come true, and it was a lie the entire time. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And she runs away. So she runs up to the roof where her ambient occlusion looks really, really bad. At least on the PS5. I don't know if it's like that for you guys, but
it looked weird.
Her shadow looks really fucking stupid. But she's up on the roof like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So while she's on the roof moping, Sarasa comes up to the roof to practice ballet, and Hina watches for a bit, and then goes over to talk to her. And Sarasa's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to show you this new thing I've been working on. And so she does a ballet or two, and Hina's like depressed from it. And Sarasa's like, what's the matter? And Hina's like, my leg isn't going to get better. They lied about the wish thing. So what the fuck am I even fighting for? And Sarasa's like, what happened? And so Hina fills her in, and she's like, well, do you mean you'll never be able to dance again? And Hina's like, yeah, never. And Sarasa's like, no, we got to do something. And who knows if they're even telling the truth? Like, please don't give up hope. Don't be pessimistic. And Hina turns around and is like, look, Sarasa, asshole, you can still dance. Your legs still work. Dancing is a reality for you. It's not for me. And I have to deal with that. And Sarasa is like, I was just trying to, and starts to go rampant. And Hina's like, oh my God, I did this. I'm sorry. I got to go in and help. So she jumps into the common, and the Citrus sisters don't jump in with her. She's all by herself. So she has to go and find the fragment to stabilize it by herself. And so she does so, and hears Sarasa's thoughts, saying that like she was holding out hope and was really excited for Hina to be able to do ballet in the future. And this sucks that she can't. And Hina's like, I fucking knew it. You're like, I don't want your pity. Your fucking legs work ass pity. You'll never fucking understand me because you haven't lost anything. You don't understand. But then she keeps listening, and Sarasa is like, there's nothing I could say to her. I know she doesn't want to hear anything, but I've been searching for ways to help fix her legs, read books on physical therapy, all to do something to try and help her, but now she doesn't want my help at all. And she says that she's admired Hina since she ever first saw her, that she doesn't quite understand Hina's feelings because her legs aren't working, but she wants to help, but she can't, so she feels useless. And she didn't go rampant because Hina was mean, but because she's feeling useless that she can't help her friend. And Hina's like, oh, like I'm an idiot. She wasn't relying on the wish for me to get better. She like wanted me to get better because she's my actual friend. So we hop out of the comment to go and talk to her, and now that Sarasa knows everything that's going on, she's like, oh, so sorry that you were like in my brain and shit. It's really embarrassing. I'm sorry. And Hina's like, no, it's fine. Thank you for letting me know how much you care. Hina's like, I was super ignorant. I thought I was the only one suffering. I thought no one would understand, but Sarasa was right there the whole time trying to help. And so she thanks Sarasa for caring, and says that she's always admired the way that Sarasa dances, and even before she lost her leg, she wished that she could dance like her. And Sarasa's like, well, I guess we were thinking the same thing. And they smile at each other, and they become true friends, and it's really sweet. And then as Hina's walking away, she's like, oh, I think maybe it's the same with Yuzu and Lime. I think, yeah, they lied to me and they tricked me, but like, they're still my friends. I need to trust them that they're up to something, and I need to at least go and try and hear them out. So on her way down, the big old dick cannon demon shows up, and so Hina's like, oh shit, they're down there fighting it by themselves. I gotta go help them. So she hurries down there, and the Citrus Sisters are like, I guess we gotta do this alone since Hina doesn't want to be a reflector anymore. And Hina's like, nah, look, I'm here, bitches. So she transforms and we fight. And this fight took a long time because every other fight so far, if you kill one of the pieces of the boss besides the main boss, when it comes back, it has lower health. These ones didn't. It's 5,000 health each time, and they have a lot of defense, and they are practically immune to both heart and slash. I think those are the big ones that have heart and impact. Those are the ones that have that deal the most damage. So
its name is also literally like Kokma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It usually has 2 extra dicks. It has 5 extra dicks now. It's just a lot of dicks.
Looking like the Pokemon Cradilly with all these dicks.
Yeah. So it takes a long time, but you do eventually take it down.
I think the main body also had like 30,000 health.
Yeah.
It was something ridiculous.
Yeah, it was intense. I actually was a little bit in danger in this battle. Not much, but like Lime got down to critical health instead of me beating it with full health, which is what normally happens.
This was the first battle in the game so far where I actually had to make use of the revival skills.
Yeah, that's funny.
Aside from the forced loss against Dukemon Crimson Mode X Omega Form.
Yeah. I think I had revived once earlier in the game, and then I revived against Dukemon, and I didn't have to this time, but I came real damn close. So after this battle, we get it got again, and Hina apologizes to the sisters and is like, there's obviously a reason why you can't tell me what's going on, but I trust you. You're my friends. So as long as I can, I'll fight by your side. And the girls say, thank you. And then chapter 10 starts. So Yuzu and Lime the next day are talking by themselves, like outside of class, and they're and Hina is like watching, but she can't hear them. And the sisters are like, we have to tell her what's going on. And Yuzu's like, yeah, the other two are approaching fast, aren't they? We only have a little bit longer. And Lime is like, it looks like this is yet another moment of truth. And Yuzu's like, yeah, we don't have a lot of time. We have to tell her. So then, later that day, Kaori and Rika, the track duo, they're talking, and Rika's like, hey, like, you should do track and field again. You should run with me. And Kaori's like, no, I'm busy. And Rika's like, yeah, you're busy fucking playing Digimon on your fucking phone and not coming, and like you're not actually doing anything. And Kaori's like, hey, fuck you. I have a date with this girl from online. We're going to do an IRL hangout. And Rika's like, what if, like, you don't know this person? They're online. Like, is that smart? And Kaori's like, of course it is. Like, it's a girl. You can trust girls. You just can't trust guys. It'll be fine. And it's in the middle of the day. And Rika's like, I don't really know if that's safe. And Yuzu and Lime are like, yeah, it's probably fine because it's in the middle of the day, but like people on the internet are super scary. And so and so Rika's still like freaked out about it, and so she's like, yeah, I gotta go and check on her and stop her and keep her safe because she's walking to meet some pervert from the internet right now. So we run downstairs after her, and she's caught up with Kaori, and Kaori's like, dude, just let go of me. And Rika's like, it's okay, we lost him. I was right. Kaori's friend was a dude, and he was closing in to get ready for some sort of attack. So I grabbed her and we ran. And Kaori is like, yeah, so my friend was a man because their online handle and online persona is that of a girl, but like we had already kind of talked about it and it was chill, and we were just going to go and have a dinner. It was no big deal. I'm a big girl. I can handle shit myself. You just kind of didn't even ask me. You just dragged me away. And so the reflector's like, oh, well, at least nothing bad happened. And Kaori's like, yeah, I guess so. But Rika, when did you get so fast? Like, you ran super fast while like practically carrying me. Like, I used to be faster than you. What the fuck? And Rika's like, oh, well, I mean, I stayed in track. You're the one that straight up quit. And Kaori's like, oh, I can't believe that you're faster than me now. And then she starts to go rampant, and everyone's like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like, sir, this is a Wendy's. We were just hanging out. Like, where the fuck did this come from?
This is an Arby's parking lot. Please take this elsewhere.
Yeah. So we hop into the common to go and find her fragment and see what's going on. And there are a bunch of demons in the way, as usual. And so we take down the demons and listen to her fragment, and she says that Rika was always like her second fiddle, and when they got into high school, Kaori felt like she hit a wall and couldn't get any faster, so she quit while she was ahead, but Rika kept going and kept pushing herself, and apparently broke past that wall that was stopping her. And so now she's like, I shouldn't have given up, because like I couldn't do any better. And then my little doofus is now better than me because of it. And Hina's like, it's the same way with Sarasa. She was my second fiddle, and now I have to watch her do ballet, and I can't do it all. And it made me feel really small. And so I know exactly how you're feeling. And so we head back to the common, and Kaori's like, thanks for that. Sorry, sorry you had to see that. And she apologizes to Rika, and Rika's like, you know that you're the reason that I got this fast, right? She's like, I'm only doing what I'm doing because you invited me to track and field back in the day, and I loved it. Like, I'm only here because of you. And and she's like, and also, Kaori, do you remember what you told me when I was struggling? You told me that I was slow because I wasn't. She says I wasn't losing weight. That goes on to like explain it a little better, that she wasn't eating healthy and she wasn't taking care of her body, and you have to take care of your body if you're going to be an athlete. But weight does not mean healthy. But anyways, had to make sure if we're going to call this game out on all of its problematic pieces, we have to include the body shaming going on here. But she says that she, like everyone else, like just was like side-eyeing her and being like, oh, she'll never run if she doesn't eat right. But Kaori was the only one to be like, hey, numbnuts, like put down the cheeseburgers and like fucking take care of yourself, and then you'll do better. And Rika's like, I always thought about that. Like, you always like had my interests at heart, and were blunt enough to tell me. So she's like, so I'm going to be honest with you the same way you were honest with me. You're unhappy. You obviously still want to run. You still care about the shit that's going on in track and field club. Digimon's not that much fun on your phone. You obviously still want to run. So run with me. Let's run together again. Who fucking cares about like competitions or whatever? But let's just do it. Let's just run together. And she's like, okay, I'll think about it. And he is like, just be honest. And Kaori's like, shut the fuck up. So the Citrus Sisters, of course, were watching, and they're like, oh, so I guess this is what true friendship is about, is being honest and direct with each other, even when it's difficult. So if we want to become friends with Hina, we have to be honest with her as well. And so Hina comes over, and they're like, oh, well, they're like, Hina, are you okay? Because like she wasn't running, but she still can run. So like she is getting her happy ending, and you're not. Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, there's more to life than ballet. I've seen that with all of my friends. Being able to connect with you guys is the most important thing of all. And he's just like, that's absolutely right. Good job for paying attention. And then here comes the big ass winged Sephiroth for us to fight. 3 of them in a row. So we head out and we fight it. And this one was pretty hard as well. Again, I wasn't in danger, but I wasn't kicking its ass. So I had to pay attention and like actually do heals and stuff. The heals I was doing was just burning ether for recovery in between turns. I never cast a healing spell, but it did take me a whole ass minute.
I did think of something that you had forgotten to mention. When we got our weapon upgrades, we also unlocked the ability to do team blasts.
Oh yeah. if you do save up to do 3 overdrives at once, you end your overdrive with a kick-ass Team Blast, and it deals a ass ton of damage.
The first time I used it with Line, it did 9,999 damage.
Nice.
To the Super Duper Hyper Dukemon EX
Burst mode.
limited edition.
Yeah. So after we win this fight, we again have a kick-ass FMV of Hina just fucking slicing it in half, and it's badass because this one already like is 2 halves with like a rotating middle piece, and she just slices that middle piece in half, and it's super badass. So after the fight, Hina's like, hey, like we're doing it, we just have one left. And so Yuzu and Lime are like, yeah, before we go into the final battle, we need to tell you the reason we picked you to be a reflector, and also another secret that we've been keeping from you. And Hina's like, another secret? What could that be? And they say, we're dead. Fade to black. I was like, is that where we're going to fucking leave it this episode? But no, it fades back in from black. And like, what do you mean you're dead? And they're like, what else could we mean? We're dead, but the common brought us back to life. That's what happened. We're dead. What do you want from us? And Hina's like, so you're saying that the common created you? And they're like, no. We were alive a year ago, but we died in an accident where they were trying to connect humans and the common in some sort of experiment. And Hina's like, what the fuck? And they're like, our father was an archaeologist that was conducting research on the common, and during his research, he found a remnant of the Sephiroth. At first, he thought it was just an artifact, but he was wrong. He learned that this world is home to creatures that possess an intellect way, like millions of years beyond human understanding. And every million years, they show up, they fight each other and duke it out for dominance. They keep fighting over and over again, and whoever wins conquers the earth, and they get the earth for a hot minute. And every time they win, they completely like change the world and terraform it to suit the victors or whatever. And so and Hina's like, but that means Sephiroth must rule right now. She's like, what? But we're fighting all of them. And Yuzu and Lime are like, no, it's the common. The common is the Sephiroth that fights with the power of emotion. And so in order to collect its emotions, it made all of us humans. And so that's all the humans are tied to the common through their emotions. So the common being a Sephiroth is fighting in this battle through the reflectors, and if it dies, all of humanity dies with it. So the reflector is who it chooses to fight. And Hina's like, reflector singular, because there's 3 of us. And they're like, yeah, but we're dead, so we don't count. We're just party members. You're the actual reflector. That's why in the FMVs you're by yourself when you kill the Sephiroth. Like, it's all you. And they're like, usually when people die, their souls go back to the common to be reincarnated, but their experiment kept them from being able to be reincarnated. So the common gave them reflector powers to assist the reflector. And they said that the common let them choose who the reflector was going to be. And Hina's like, so why did you choose me? And they said, well, we saw you on TV dancing in a competition while we were going through all of our experiments and having a really shitty childhood. We saw you and we thought that you were like the most badass, cool ass ballet star in the entire world. And so, because we thought so highly of you, we knew that you would be a star and you would be a great reflector. So they're like, we met you one time after you performed The Little Mermaid, and we brought you flowers, and you shook our hands. So that as they're telling the story, Hina then remembers earlier when she was in the pits of despair, she remembered specifically these people at one of her recitals being like, oh my God, you were an amazing shining star. It really looked like you could fly. And when they're telling her the story this time, she realizes it was them. And she's like, oh, that was you two. Like I've always remembered that day positively, and you obviously remembering it positively too. And they were like, yeah, that's why we picked you, is because you were so confident and badass, and we knew we could place all of our hopes in you. And Hina's like, oh, holy shit, like I've had this connection with these girls forever. And so the Citrus Sisters are like, we've loved hanging out with you, going to class, being your friends, and even if we are dead, the thing that sucks the most is that you'll forget all about us once the last Saphira is defeated. And he was like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, you know how time stops when they get here? Well, time will reset prior to the fight whenever it's over. So if the common wins, it'll go to before the battle started, and you won't remember a single thing. And Hina's like, then I won't do it. I don't want to lose my friends. I have 7 girlfriends now. I can't go back to being a loser with no friends. I don't want to do it. And the sisters are like, don't say that. If we don't fight, we'll die. And you're not going to let us die. I mean, we're dead, but everyone else dying. Like you won't let everyone die. You're better than that. And Hina's like, I know. And the sisters are like, we're sorry that we kept it from you. You're our friend, and we didn't know how to tell you, but you had to know. So let's call it a day. Let's go home. We don't know when another Saphira will arrive. So we then are prompted with our last free time of the game. If you're like me, you skipped all of the side quests this chapter, so probably tomorrow I will just crunch through 3 chapters worth of side quests and eventually go and beat the game for next week. But for now, let's listen to some our Blue Reflection music and then talk about our memorable moments.
I did notice something in the walkthrough at this point for the side quests. When you beat all of the side quests, you unlock a secret boss.
Oh, nice.
The secret boss has like 20,000 HP.
That's not too bad. This
And
last Saphira had more than that.
And it's supposedly harder than all the Saphira we fought so far. Because it has a move that will insta-kill.
Damn.
Oh,
So,
fuck. Super boss.
We finally have a difficult fight coming up. For the two of us that are 100%ing the game.
Epsi, what memorable moments do you have this week?
Let's see. The first thing I have here is, so all the girls during the boss fights have these little skills that they can do. Like, Akko just kind of plays hype man and just cheers you on from the back and boosts your stats.
Yeah.
Sanai comes up and, gives you first aid. Kaori kicks a can at the boss. Yuri pulls out a fucking machine gun and just opens fucking fire.
It's great, and then not to be one-upped by Yuri and her machine gun, Mao
calls it a drone strike.
Calls it a drone strike. Who does she know at the military to just call in a drone strike?
She just pulls out her phone and goes, shoot it down. And then these drones come in and just drop missiles, and she goes, Shine. Snaps her fingers, and the thing just fucking explodes.
That's so funny.
It's so fucking stupid. It's like, okay, all of them were like believable at a point. Like, Shihori pulls out makeup, first aid, makeup, hitting it with a tennis ball, kicking a can at it, playing hype man. With Yuri and Mao, they just gave up. Like,
it's so great.
The scientist girl could have just like. First of all, the scientist girl could have easily just been the one doing because the other track girl,
Rika's
thing is called full analysis, and it like boosts your ether and I think maybe also one of your stats. They could have given that to Yuri and had Rika's just boost your speed.
Yeah.
But no. They just gave Yuri a fucking machine gun and Mao a drone strike for no explicable reason.
It's great. I fucking love it.
And it does a ton of damage, too. It's wild. The second thing I have here is that there's been a running gag in this whole game that Rika is so unbelievably normal.
Mm-hmm.
And we unlocked a new prepare for the next day sequence this week. Where now we can prepare for recitals for the performance. And one of them, Rika is acting with us, and in the dressing room after, Mao basically says, you play an extra so normally, so naturally, it's impressive. And Rika's just there like...
Yeah, it's great.
My lime is now doing over 30,000 damage in a turn.
That's nuts.
If I have her initiate the overdrive and I hit with boar paw, raccoon nail, ibis fang, whatever the one is that like summons all the copies of Mr. Bear and just throws heart energy.
Yeah, whatever that one is.
And then her team blast, and she'll do. And this is engage. It's activating this after I buff her with Yuzu's Opportune Lichy, which I've got kitted out to boost attack, defense, and luck.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll like crit with every hit, and each hit of Raccoon Nail critting does like 300 damage. So like she'll be able to do over 30,000 damage in a turn against something that resists piercing damage.
Yeah.
I do love the moves in this game, but they have some really tough to remember names.
Yeah.
These are all in French.
Yeah, like I mentioned this on the Final Fantasy 13 we recorded this week, but like I don't even attempt to understand anything about French, and so these being in French for Hina are just, it's impossible. Hinas are all in French, limes are all animals, and
Yuzus are all fruits.
Are all fruits. I can deal with animals and fruits, but I don't understand a lick of French.
Next thing I have here is a screenshot of one of the text conversations. It's the first conversation you have via text with Mao. And she says, "You have my info now, but don't send me messages. I don't plan on being your friend. Keep that in mind." And Hina's like, "I'm okay with that, but your profile picture," and if you look at her accounts in the in table chat, it's like a really good picture of her with the status message, "Root for your favorite star."
Good.
And Mao just responds with, "It's my public image. Pay it no mind." This week we got the ability to do all of the final dates. And have you done any of them, Sam?
I have not. I literally only did plot cutscenes this week because I was so far over leveled that I had all of the requisite rating points. So I did literally no side quests. I just did the main plot.
Well, have fun, because every single one of them goes rampant again.
Nice.
And a bit of a tip. When you get to Shihori, you're looking for an elevator and an indent in the tower in the middle. You'll know what I mean when you get there. I spent an hour and a half trying to figure out what I was doing.
That's amazing.
Because all the other ones were very clear cut, but Shihori's was not.
Sounds like quite the date.
Yeah, an hour and a half just trying to find the little piece of her middle. I tried to make it dirty. It didn't work.
I have another screenshot of a table chat conversation, this one with Yuri. And Yuri says, "Hey, concerning Yuzu and Lime." Hina responds with, "What about them?" Yuri says, "I was just thinking that their names sound delicious." Hina just goes, "What?" The conversation goes on for her to say, like, "Yeah, it's a natural human reaction to hear their names and just start salivating." Hina's like, "I don't do that." And Yuri's like, "I'm not weird, shut up." Some of the conversations in this game,
They're so good.
that's all I've got. I had a much shorter list this week.
Nice.
Despite the fact that we did more, I did less.
What about you, DS? Do you have any?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is kind of a more general one that covers like the entire week, but I distinctly remember thinking that chapter 9 was like the most deep that the story has gotten. Probably because, like, you know, it had to do with theater stuff, so I resonated with it a lot. But then chapter 10 really just turned it up to 11 there. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed, like, doing things finally this week. We finished the game next week, and we're finally through all of the slice of life plot and are doing real shit this week. And it was good. They paid it off in a good way. A lot of, to be honest, I didn't really think that this game was going to like be deep at all and have anything going for it, but
surprise,
there it is.
Yeah.
And I figured they were dead because they made the joke about being ghosts the first time around, so I thought that they would be dead the whole time. But the shit with Mao's parents, and they're like, oh no, she wants to be with her darling mom and darling dad. And I was like, oh, at least they love her. And then the mom was like, yeah, be with me so that I don't have to work ever again. I'm like, oh fuck, well, why can't you just love your kids? Jesus shit. And it hurts. And it was great, and I really did dig this week.
Yeah, Mao's kind of a jerk, but I also I like her character in kind of a weird way because it feels realistic given the circumstances. She
is the kind of jerk that is understandably a jerk because her life has sucked.
Yeah, I feel like she's still trying to prove herself in a way. Just because, yeah, she's talented and everyone knows it, but also she's been, kind of artificially boosted the entire time. So she has to, put on this act in a way to, keep herself up there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I didn't really take notes this time. But yeah. Nice. I really liked the mouse stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure I will have oodles to talk about with everyone's dates when I do it for next week.
Yeah, I gotta do that also. I haven't been keeping up with the 100% stuff too much. I haven't had time.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, COVID canceled all of your plans, so...
Well, mostly. Only the last performance got canceled, so it bought me 4 hours of time.
I did think of something else that I had forgotten to write down. Speaking of the dates... The final one with Shihori, I think Hina and Shihori go to the pool, and then when they get out, Hina discovers that Shihori switched their underwear. And Hina's just kind of like, that son of a bitch! This is 3 sizes too small!
That is about on brand for Shihori.
Yeah. And then
I love Shihori because everyone dances around the fact that they're all lesbians, but Shihori is
Shihori
Hina, I stole your underwear and put it in a shrine in my room. I'm gay as shit for you, and it's refreshing, and I love it.
And then Hina basically goes puts her uniform on over the 3 sizes too small underwear that is not hers, basically drags Shihori back to the dressing room and says, "Switch, now." And as they're changing, Shihori tackles her to the floor, starts cackling, and goes rampant. It was weird. It was certainly the most interesting out of all the final dates. Yeah, that's all I have for real this time.
Nice. That doesn't segue nicely into our next big thing. So next week is the last week of Blue Reflection, and then the week after that will be our movie night. So that means tonight I get to announce that our next block of games will be Suikoden 2 versus Wild Arms 2 for a it's the HD 2D engine, but before it was HD, so it's the SD 2D. It's sprites on top of 3D backgrounds, and they both own really hard. So Suikoden 2 is one of the RPG fans, like everyone who like has played a bajillion RPGs says that Suikoden 2 is the best one on the PS1. Wild Arms 2 is not that, but it's my favorite. So my finger is on the scale on the Wild Arms side, but I have a feeling everybody will pick Suikoden 2. But I love me some cowboy RPG, man. That's what I'm all about.
Hell yeah.
So by the time you hear this, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where if you donate any amount, you can get access to the poll and vote for which game you want us to play. In the poll, it'll have more details about both of them. So if you haven't heard of either game, I actually spend a pretty decently long time trying to explain what both game is super fairly and compare them apples to apples so that you can have an honest opinion of which one you want us to play next. So head on over there to vote for that. So next week we'll be beating the game, and the week after that we will be playing we'll be watching. Let me make sure I have the right one, because there are a lot. We are watching Pretty Cure All-Stars DX, Mina Tomodachi Kiseki no Zenin Daishu Go, which is the Pretty Cure movie where all the teams team up. Because I figured watching any of the ones that are just a sequel to whatever Pretty Cure series would have too much context and spoil things. But if it's I am having to introduce myself to 20 different Precures from 5 different universes, it'll be fine. So that's what...
it's the Forever Red of Pretty Cure.
Yes. It's the Avengers in game. Well, no, it's the Avengers Infinity War of Precure. The most recent Precure All-Stars has this fucking ass... picture in it. Let me copy the image and paste it in host chat so you can see. That's the crossover of the most recent movie, and that's a lot to keep track of for all of you who haven't seen any Precure ever at all. So I did one that's not that big of a crossover, but super excited for that. I love Precure a lot. It's fucking phenomenal. If you are capable of watching subbed anime, you should give it a shot. If you're not capable of watching it subbed, the Canadian dub of the first 2 seasons is also really good and really accurate. They do the thing that they did turn of the century where they gave everyone like Americanized names for no reason. But other than that, it's very like line by line accurate to the Japanese, and it's really good. But the other English seasons, known as Glitter Force on Netflix, are not as good. They're not bad, but they cut so much stuff out that the second series, so Glitter Force Doki Doki or Doki Doki Precure. Doki Doki Precure is 48 episodes long. Glitter Force Doki Doki is 30 episodes long. They cut out 18 episodes worth of crap. So it's not that good. But it's better than nothing, so that's why I've watched it with Scarlett, because she can't read yet. But they're great, and I'm super excited to share it with you guys. So looking forward to that in 2 weeks. But for now, for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I am Epsi Sarivan.
And I'm Desert Stream.
Toodaloo, folks.